Lovely morning, lovely afternoon, or lovely evening. This is a significant series of videos that I'm trying to promote regarding raising awareness about some necessary topics that we need to understand and to be fully aware of. A problem in Middle East when it comes to language conversation, conversational in English, communication with people, trying to speak the second language, which is English or any other language in Middle East, is more quantitative than qualitative. What does that mean? When you practice with limited number of vocabulary for longitudinal amount of time for longer hours, it is better. That is better in and out of itself than memorizing hundreds of vocabulary without putting them to practice. So let's put it in perspective. Lots of people in the medical field or biology or chemistry have tons of vocabulary and terminology, but when it comes to feeling expressive and emotional or trying to say something to their significant partners or significant other, they have difficulty saying that. Why? They say, I have longer list of words, but I don't know how to put them together. This kind of fusion happens to be problematic because they haven't put enough quantitative amount of practice. They have put a lot of effort in the qualitative, where they focused on choosing the right terminology and putting it in the right perspective and saying it to the right professor. But when it comes to saying and nailing what they want to say expressively to people, they fail with that. They do not fail, but they lack, falter, hesitate, and become unable or under psychological pressure to feeling regularly fluent and expressive in English. So they come across different words, they select them, there is a little bit of delay. Their neurons, myelin is not that quite strong enough to transfer the nervous signal from their mind to their articulation to say it efficiently in the right timing. So they lack this kind of spontaneity to feeling very, very expressive and open and say whatever they like in whatever context they want. Um, so they don't feel that quite feeling of mobility when they talk about gender, about sex, about education, about politics, about travel, about all walks of life. They have limitation and constraints, and that is because they focus on the qualitative approach, not the quantitative approach. They focus on the qualitative approach, not the quantitative approach. So what we need to do is to invest in limited amount of vocabulary to speak unlimited amount of time. So if we think of the regular English dictionary, most of the standard commercial dictionaries that we come across in the market that are not bulky, but they're kind of like semi-standard, have between 24,000 to 30,000 vocabulary or words or entries or word entries. Um, but the standard English speaker uses a range between 400 in the family to 3,000 words in the academic setting. They use that 85% of the time, and that is statistically speaking. The average English speaker speaks between 7,000 words to 21,000 words. And within that amount of practice, within that amount of words, and within that amount of spectrum of usage and mobility, they become fluent in their language. So if we think of our speaking practice of Arabic, that outweighs our speaking practice of English, and eventually our articulation system of the second language atrophies and dies out by the course of time of lack of practice. What you need to understand and take out of this beautiful lesson that I'm trying to deliver to you is this. You need to use limited number of vocabulary to speak about unlimited number of topics instead of investing your time memorizing unlimited number of vocabulary qualitatively to talk and impress people. When you accumulate bigger amount of vocabulary, your point of tendency is going to be impressing people about their lack or ignorance of this word or that word, especially GRE and GMAT level, and not delivering the message. let's come back to our basic instinct, which is, why do we use English? We simply use English or any other language in the world, whatever form it is, to communicate and reach a level of mutual understanding about the message that we need to mutually interchangeably use with each other to reach to a consensus or to a decision or to alter, shape certain behaviors. So that's the purpose of language, trying to understand and be understood. Now, you can use very limited number of vocabulary to convey unlimited number of messages to people. But once you start accumulating very advanced level, not to say that you need that for academic research paper. No, you need to use impressive vocabulary in written formal communication. But when it comes to speaking, you do not need that. This is absolutely not necessary to do and to invest and to waste lots of time memorizing big words, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, or whatever that you come across in YouTube or in songs. You just need to use a limited number of vocabulary to convey unlimited number of messages to people. Like, for example, if you learn the verb get, you can use it in many scenarios. For example, do you get me? Do you understand me? Please get me there. Please get it. Do you get what I say? Get up, get over. So this verb can have multiplicity of usages just because it is very simple, straightforward, and widely used in the native speaker community. So my message to you, focus on limited number of vocabulary, but focus more on the unlimited number of time you spend and invest in practicing this limited set of vocabulary. Don't increase your vocabulary level to a stifling point where you memorize hundreds and hundreds of vocabulary, but trying to use them comes to no avail. That's the point. That's my message to you. Keep it simple. Steve Jobs says, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. البساطة هي غاية التعقيد. مدرب اللغة وليد خالد.